Yo, welcome back to Talking Business. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm George, and in this episode, I'm joined by the incredible Jamie Bell, a guy that I only met randomly as he was dancing outside my flat, shouted across, got his name, got his Instagram, have been following him since, and this is the first time that I'm meeting Jamie virtually to get to know him, hear his story. He's an incredible dancer, why he dances, how he got started, the ups and downs, and yeah, just meeting him for the first time. So I'm super excited for this one. Can't wait for to hear more about his journey, and yeah, looking forward to get started. So let's get stuck in. Boom. A few weeks ago now, I was just sitting in the flat. Ham was actually making this like table. So we were both sitting in the flat painting, making wood, making this kind of like wooden table. And out the window of the flat, I just spotted a guy, like I could just feel it. I was like, I could sense it. I was like, he's doing something cool over there. So I just started sitting at the window. Next thing I know, I see him or you dancing. I was like, fuck, man, this kid, you need to look at this kid. He's unreal. And at first I couldn't hear the music, so I could just see you dancing. I didn't really know it was your mum or dad. I just knew, yeah, they were filming. And then, anyway, for those listening, I basically watched Jamie dancing for like 20 minutes, and I didn't know that you or your mum could see me. So I didn't say anything. And I actually, just as you were about to leave, so you finished dancing, you're about to leave, and I didn't know you could see me. So I just sat there thinking, should I shout? And then your mum just started waving to me in the window. And just starts going, hey, do you wanna, hey? And I was like, oh, you can see me, hey. And then, I was like, can I get your Insta? And then you couldn't remember your Instagram. And in the moment,
literally, I was like,
it's Jamie.
Hold on.
But then I was buzzing, to be honest, because then, then the way that this has come about is I followed whatever. We started chatting on Insta, and then, I mean, one way or another, I wanted to chat to you and meet you properly. And just by seeing what you do on your Insta, it's unreal. So, it's an amazing way to meet, really, isn't it? It's crazy.
It is such a weird world, isn't it? We live in nowadays, especially.
What were you? So tell people, what were you doing? What were you doing? Dancing out on the street?
I just literally, it's just getting content. That's what it is for me. It's just like finding a cool location. It's such a simple. There's no cool backstory to it. Literally, it's just me bored in lockdown, making the most of my time and just filming what I love to do, really. That's kind of it. Yeah, I just do it to just build up kind of a portfolio. I say, for me to have as a dancer, it's quite important, especially because now the world kind of works through Instagram and through social media. It's quite a heavy impact on our industry, especially. So it's so important having the correct videos and the correct like photos and stuff, and having a really like professional Instagram. So yeah, I think that's kind of what I was trying to do as well, consciously, like just to make sure I'm staying on top of my like videos and recording a lot, and just having a bit of fun as well, just killing us. I think it was a Sunday. Was it a Sunday?
Yeah.
Just killing a nice Sunday afternoon, just doing And so my parents, bless them, like they just fucking take me where like anywhere I want to go. They just drive me. They're so good.
That's amazing. Was that the first one have you done something like that before? Just going out on the street and filming something like that?
No, because I used to film in the garden, and then it was one day I was in the garden filming, and the piece I was doing, it travelled quite a bit, and it didn't quite fit in the garden because it's like a small patio thing. And so Dad was like, right, we're going to take you somewhere to film it because you need space for this, and that's how we kind of started. And then that's when we met that day. Because we drove to a few locations and it was like, right, this isn't working. And then we decided to go uptown and it was like, right, this is a perfect spot with the BT tower in the background. It's nice. So yeah, we chose that one, and then
Wow, so
then I've done a few more.
So that wasn't the first spot. So you'd actually that day had been driving around.
Yeah.
So that could have been
we tried
your third or fourth spot.
Yeah. We tried like the skate park near me. We tried closer to the library in town. Like we tried so many different spots and none of it worked.
Wow.
So yeah, that spot was a lucky spot.
Wow.
Definitely.
And do you like, because it stood out to me because like I've obviously sat in that window and just see people walking by and like, dogs or whatever, but to see you dancing in that setting, in the sort of like such a I don't know, it was almost like such a contrast of what I usually see and what you were doing there. Does it feel different doing it out in public like that?
You definitely get like a different, it's definitely different to the garden. I'd say your environment and your surroundings definitely have an impact on the way you dance, for me anyway. Because, pardon me, I think I definitely perform better under pressure, if that's the right thing. Not saying that like civilians walking around are pressure, but it's kind of nice having that feeling of like openness and not being stuck in your garden, especially in lockdown when we literally cannot leave our houses. Like, it's nice to get my daily exercise and go out, and definitely it does make a big difference, and it does feel different, doing it outdoors for sure.
So you don't feel like that. So you actually enjoy the fact that people are maybe walking past thinking, "What's he doing?"
Yeah, I don't mind, as long as they're not like harmful.
Yeah,
weirdos, I don't mind. Like, I quite enjoy it.
Because I wasn't sure.
Just getting out.
I wasn't sure whether I was almost like secretly watching and filming. Like, I was on my Insta, like sharing you, going, "Who is this guy who's unreal? I need to know him." But I did feel a little bit like, should I watch and cheer him on, or should I just leave him to it? Because I wasn't sure what you're doing.
No, I definitely. It's so nice meeting new people, and I'm so glad that you did shout, because you know what I mean. It's a connection, isn't it? And that's what it's all about in life, making connections.
I was buzzing. I was going to ask, was that special for you as well? Because for me, I think your mum legend, by the way, for first of all shouting and making it happen.
Yeah, that's what she's like, honestly.
So good.
She's just the most confident, outgoing woman you'll ever meet. She just loves everyone. Yeah, she's amazing. Yeah,
because I just think if she hadn't done that, we might not have connected. I'd
have
never seen you again. So I was like, legend. And then she messaged me saying, "Thanks so much for that. It was so good." And I was like, "What do you mean, thank you?" I was almost like, "Thank you."
Yeah,
for what?
no.
Do you know what I mean?
What I found so refreshing for me is the fact that, like, most of the time, and it sounds a bit cliche, but most of the time, strangers, I find strangers support you more than people you know, and that's a bit. It's sad, isn't it? But it's kind of true. It's like, people that you don't know is like support you more. So it was so nice to have that like support from you, someone someone who I didn't know at all, who was just giving me like that fresh support, and it was just like a random person, and it was just nice that like people you meet, like, that everyone can be like nice. Do you know what I mean? For a change, especially in such hard times, like you could have been like, "Oh, don't dance there. That's not public." Like, you could have said something like, like that, but it was nice that you were like, "Oh, go on," like, you've been being supportive, which is a nice change. Because a lot of the time, dancers, especially in doing things like that, we always get like shunned on by security or something, or you can't film here, or you can't do this, and it's like, it's nice to have like that support, I guess, from people.
Makes sense. Yeah, I never thought about that. Yeah, but for me, it was like, it was amazing. I honestly, and then obviously you uploaded the video afterwards, and to see it, what you were filming, because I could see it from the side, but I couldn't quite. I could tell you were really good, but I couldn't quite, and I could hear. Was it Chris Brown?
It was, it was Chris Brown. What was the song? It was Chris Brown. I can't remember the song though.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
Which is bizarre, because I've got a story to tell you about that as well. We'll come on to. Well, I might as well tell you now. When I was younger, I randomly got into like this street dance crew in Tamworth. I'd been playing I'd grown up playing football, and me and my mate were like, we want to try something different. I think we'd seen Diversity or something, mate, and we thought, oh, let's try and join a street dance thing and just do it. And then after our second, we went to 2 classes, and I'm not a very good dancer, but it was fun. After the second class, they were like, actually, guys, we've got quite a big announcement. We're performing at the Royal Albert Hall. And we've got 8 weeks, and me and John, they're like, John, can you stick around, because like we need 2 male dancers as part of the crew. It's quite a female heavy group. So then before we knew it, we were on this 8-week, maybe longer, like basically part of this group and routine, learning this kind of one. And the song was Chris Brown, I Can Control You. Is that it? Yeah.
He just has so many songs, isn't he?
Man. So I loved Chris Brown at that time, and then that song is special because I danced the Royal Albert Hall to that song.
That's crazy.
It's so weird because I could faintly hear it when you were playing, and then when you played it back and you uploaded it on Insta, I was like, no way is that. Is that Chris
Yeah.
Brown? Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Weird, man. Do you think things
That's
like that happen
crazy.
for a reason? I honestly,
Definitely.
do you
Honestly,
reckon?
I definitely believe that. I mean, call me like hippie or whatever you want, but I definitely believe that like the universe like connected us for a reason. Of course, like you never meet anyone by accident. I always believe that. You never bump into people, and it's such a small world that like the fact that you work with someone who my mum worked, like it's such a like that wasn't random, was it? That was meant to happen for me. I think definitely.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely for
Yeah.
me that was meant to happen.
So tell me
Yeah.
more then how long you've been dancing for, and when, like, just tell me how you got started. Like, bring it
Oh
back a little
God,
bit. How old are you now, and when did you get started?
I am 19 now. 19, 20 this year. Um, I started back when I was about 7, I think, properly, and it was such a weird. Because my parents took me to a Justin Timberlake concert because I was obsessed with him at the time, and I still pretty much am, to be honest. I was absolutely obsessed. So I was quite young. I was about 7 or 8, and they took me to a concert, and I was obsessed with the dancers. I wasn't obsessed with him. I was more obsessed with the backing dancers that he had. Weirdly, and I was like, oh, I said to my mom, I was like, I really want to do that, and she was like, oh, what, Justin? And I was like, no, the dancers behind him. That's what I want to do. And she just found that so bizarre that I wanted to be like the backing dancer. But I was just so obsessed with it. And then from that point on, I was just obsessed with like dancing the way that Justin Timberlake and his dancers do. And Marty Kudelka, who's his choreographer, Justin's choreographer, I was obsessed with like the way that like that kind of movement. And I was begging to go to class and stuff. I started going to a little a b-boy class because that was the only thing that happened near me at a little leisure centre down the road. So I started doing that, and then I got really heavy into my b-boying breakdance. I did that for many, many years. I started traveling with that, competing with that. Like there was a point where I was like 14, 15, and I was in the adult categories already. Like I was like growing like quite well in my b-boying in a sense, and I really, really loved that. And then it got to a point where I was like, I'd done other styles briefly, but like breaking was always my main one. And then it comes to a point where I was like, right, I need to kind of like open some more doors here and train some more styles. So then I started going to like I joined like a hip hop company near me, Dance Nouveau, which is still happening today actually. Um, yeah, I joined that where I started doing more like hip hop styles like locking, popping, house, Vogue, whacking, and I started to love those styles. I just opened more doors, and it was almost like, right, I'm not just a b-boy, because the b-boy culture I was kind of dragged into. It's like it's very tunnel vision. The b-boys are very tunnel vision. It's very right. You break for this crew only. You can't like they're very just like narrow minded when it comes to it, but which wasn't really what I wanted to do. I got to a certain age where I was like, right, this isn't really like there's not a career in b-boying really unless you're like one of like the top in the world, which I wasn't. Like unless you're sponsored by Red Bull and you're like competing for like thousands and thousands of pounds, like. But even still, it's not really a stable career.
And is that
So
breakdancing mainly? So you'd be part of
yeah,
a
that's
crew, you
breakdance.
breakdance, and then
Yeah,
you
yeah.
almost compete, or like, yeah,
So
yeah,
like, so people that like, so for example, Red Bull BC1, that's a big competition it's all around the world. It happens, and like there's different like mini competitions around the world, and then you all compete in a big one.
yeah.
So like things like that, that's where the big money is, like the sponsorships and stuff. But unless you like, it's very, very hard to get to that.
Mm.
And to be honest, by the point where I was ready to kind of go towards that route, I was kind of like out of love with it anyway. Like breaking, I'd kind of found these new styles, and I was like, right, I want to do this. I wasn't as devoted to my b-boying in a sense. So yeah, I started training loads of other styles, and then I was like, right, I was about 15, and I was like, right, this is my career. I've decided I'm gonna just go with it. There's no plan B. You
Mm.
know, I mean, I had GCSEs, but that was about it. But I was like, this is my career. I was like, I've done this since I was 7. There's no way I'm gonna just stop now and just do an office job.
Mm.
Like at all. It's not what I wanted to do. And like, despite what people told me, like teachers at school told me, oh no, they just like the people tried to shower me with doubt, I guess.
Mm.
I was like, no, I've got to persevere. I've got to do this. I've got to just keep pushing, keep pushing. So I decided to go to performing arts college when I was 16, and I went to Wilkes Academy, which is in Swindon. So I feel like I've been talking for absolutely ages.
No.
Sorry.
This is quality. Just keep going. Honestly, keep
Yeah.
going.
So I went to performing arts college in Swindon, Wilkes Academy, which is a really good performing arts college. I recommend it to anyone who is that kind of age and is looking for training in the arts, specifically like musical theatre wise and stuff. Definitely go for it. Yeah, so I went there, which was a big change for me because I was used to baggy trousers, baggy tops, hip hop, like busking on the streets of Birmingham town centre, which I used to do like every weekend. I was used to that kind of thing, and it was like, right, I've got to put on ballet tights now, ballet shoes. I've got to put on a leotard. I've got to stand up straight where I've been told to do this my whole life. Like it's so strange. Like I've got to suddenly change and readapt to this whole new realm of like classical dance, and I had to sing in front of people for the first time. I am not a singer, George. Honestly, let me tell you, I am not. Like, I really don't like singing, and I had to do that for the first time, and it was like I had to act for the first time. Like, it's crazy, but it's growth, isn't it? It made me uncomfortable and it made me grow. And I can say that I can sing now 3 years later, and I can act now 3 years later. So it's just more strings to my bow, I guess. And I guess that's kind of been the kind of motto of my dance journey so far. It's just, what can I grab from everything, rather than just being this narrow-minded, right, I do this style, I don't do any other style. This, like, I don't think that's, I think as a dancer, and I've always said this, as a dancer, you have to be like, you can't call yourself a dancer unless you respect and try all the styles. Like you're not a dancer unless you try everything and you do everything, or you at least give it a go. You should, like, do you know what I mean? So yeah, and then I did that, finished college, Corona hit, so everything went down the toilet. So yeah, and then I've signed with a few agencies, a few professional ones, which was always, and some of them were like a big dream of mine to sign with since I was a kid. So I'm really, really happy with myself. That was a big achievement for this year, definitely, to sign with a few of those. And yeah, I'm just kind of just literally just waiting for the world to pick up now and just hopefully get some sort of like professional work, whether that be in theatre, whether that be acting work. I mean, I've been sent for a few acting jobs recently, which I've done a lot of time on. I've been doing loads of self tapes. I literally live like in front of a tripod. That's my life at the moment, just doing self tapes for different jobs and stuff. But it's just hard because the industry that I'm in is competitive and it's hard anyway. And then when you add coronavirus on top of that, it makes it 10 times harder. So it is hard.
Yeah, you sound so. Just going back though to that point where you'd been essentially.
Yeah, sorry, I've been chatting for so long.
No, I love it. Just keep it pouring. Honestly, this is why I wanted to chat, because I know there's so much. I could feel it. There's so much in you. But that moment where you've been b-boying, that's been your life and busking, and then there's a moment where you jump into something, even though it's dance, it's like a completely new realm for you. You've got to be. I can feel it, and you've got so much drive to like learn that. Like, but why? I guess like. What drove you, or what motivated you at that point to just go in the deep end, I guess, with that?
I'll tell you what, it was because there was a very specific moment where it happened for me, where I was like, and it was like a light bulb. I was like, right, I've really got to start learning classical styles. I spoke to a choreographer. He's quite a big choreographer. His name's Andy Turner. He does loads of different work. He choreographed the Clothes show in Birmingham, for example. Just loads of stuff like that. And he was saying, I was quite young at this point, and he was saying, right, your commercial, your hip hop or whatever is great, but you need to make sure you're learning classical styles and pas de deux, which is a fancy word for partner work with a girl, basically. So for me, that was like, right, I need to get to college. I need to get to performing arts college. I need to learn these classical styles. I need to get a bit of technique behind my belt. I need to learn pas de deux, which I then did, and then I come back to him when I finished in about summer last year. I spoke to him again. I sent him videos of me doing classical stuff, and I was like, right, I did what you said. I went away. I trained this kind of like, this classical styles, this thing, and he was like, right, we're going to sign you to mass movement agency and stuff. So that helped me. That was like kind of a push. It was like, right, I need to learn this, because people that are working, people that are high up here who are booking people for these jobs, they want versatile dancers. So for me, that was a turning point of like, right, I need to, like, I've got all these hip hop styles, which is amazing, but then I need to like there's a whole different realm which I haven't got into, which I need to get into and grab a few things out of. Like to add to me, to make me a better dancer. So I guess that was the reason for me.
Love
Obviously,
that.
there was other reasons that were like that made me want to go. Just to be a better dancer in general, I wanted to go and just learn different things and be more knowledgeable in the world of dance. And it just make you more employable. So that was probably the two main reasons as to why I did it. Yeah.
I love that. Have you always been? I can just feel the drive in you. Where did your drive come from? Like, have you always had that since you were, thinking back to when you started at 7 years old? Like, where does it come from?
I think obviously it didn't start instantly as a drive. It wasn't like, right, I need to be a dancer at age 7. Like no one, like no 7-year-old thinks like that. I was thinking more like ice cream and toys and stuff as well. But I definitely really, I think it comes from just a passion. It comes from just like enjoyment. Like I kind of just slowly fell in love with dance more and more. And then it's like, and it comes to a point where you look back and like 5 years has gone and you're like, wow, I've literally been dancing for these 5 years. That's like all I've done. Like it just becomes from like, it's almost like a relationship. You just work on it so much and you spend so much time with dance. Like you spend so much time together and you build this relationship and you build this connection. And then it turns into a passion. And that's where the kind of drive comes from. It's like, right, it's like, I've been doing this since I was 7. I can't give up now. Like I love dance all my life. There's no way I'm going to stop now for anything. There's no point. Why? Like, why stop and get a normal job? There's no point. Like, and for me, that was it. It was like, I need to just carry on. Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like you just that. I'd love to. Could you describe that feeling? Because like, when the whole phrase, like, love what you do, find something that you enjoy every day. Can you describe the feeling that you have when you dance, or the feeling that you have?
Don't get me wrong. Honestly, George, sometimes it's a very like the relationship I have with dance is very love and hate. Some days I really fucking hate the way I dance, and I cry and I storm and I hate it. I hate what I've made, or I hate how I do a certain choreography, or I hate how I've done this, or I can't do pirouettes well today, or I can't stretch my leg. It's like there's so many days where it's like off days, and I've sat at college and I've cried and I've like and I've thought about giving up and I've thought about doing other things, but then there's also days where I do a massive show and I'm like, I love it. I love the audience. For example, back in, when was it? Oh, about 3 years ago now, I danced for Madonna at the NEC in town. Yeah. Because I knew her son from way back. I was friends with her son. It's such a weird story. We actually met in London. I was busking at this place. It's closed now, but it's called the Trocadero Centre.
Yeah.
I was there and I met him there. And then long story short, we just became friends. We did loads of stuff together and stuff. And then he wasn't around, but she was currently on tour. It was the Rebel Heart tour. I've actually got the passes there behind me for each one I've been to.
Wow.
And so she just gave us tickets. She invited. She said, "Right, come along." And then I was there, and then her PA, who was our family friend at the time, approached us and was like, "Right, we want." She was like, "She wants Jamie to go on stage." And I was like, I was literally in like jeans and like a shirt. Like I just gone to this concert to sit down. Like I literally wasn't ready to dance at all. I think I just eaten loads as well. Like I had no idea. She was like, "Right, she wants Jamie to go on stage," and I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure, okay, I will, yeah." And then literally it was just like that. It just happened. They just like the security guard come and got me, kind of led me through like the audience bit, and then I was on stage. I was just freestyling like in front of about 30,000 people. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
And for me, it's moments like that where it's like going back to the love and hate. Like that's the moments I'm like, wow, this is why I do what I do. Because dancing made me meet her son. Dancing made me like go on this beautiful journey with them and do so many wonderful things in my life so far. Like, and I'm still so young. I'm 19. I'm still really young, but Like so far, majority of the amazing things that have happened in my life and the milestones and memories for me, majority of them have come from dance.
Yeah.
And that's why I've got to love it, because it's gave me so many different memories
So
and
many highs.
happiness.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
exactly.
And
But
that
then also lows as well.
yeah,
And
yeah,
also
yeah.
like feeling shit.
100%.
Yeah.
And I don't think my experience last week, I don't think you can experience the high without also. I
Exactly.
think
Yeah.
one of the things James, who I work with, said, he was like, you can only go as high as you've gone down, or low as down. Yeah. So the way when
Yeah,
he
I get what you
described
mean.
that, I think that's true. You know, I think
Yeah.
being able to feel that. I was going to ask you though, that feeling of 30,000 people, I can't even imagine.
Scary.
Yeah. Was it scary, or was it like?
I couldn't even see them. I can't even see them because there was obviously stage lights. It kind of blacks out the audience when you're on stage. So the audience, like the people on stage, actually can't see you. Like they actually can't. It was I could just hear. I could see like the occasional like phone light recording and stuff, but I could just hear like just noise. It was like wow, and like the stage rumbling. It's like it is a feeling. Like honestly, it's the ecstasy you get from it. It's just crazy.
But I can only imagine the reason the high and the low bit. Normal life isn't that high. So when you've gone to a moment like that with 30,000 people, the only way to come back, that you have to come down. Like, I don't know how far down you've got to come down, because to stay up there, I don't know how you stay up there. Yeah.
You don't, and that is a sad reason. I mean, this isn't for me personally at all. I know I never will. I mean, I hope not. But this is the reason why a lot of people in my industry do take drugs, and do a lot of this, because they're so used to that high on stage. They want to keep it up, kind of thing, when they're off stage, and they have such a shit life when they're not, when they're not dancing on stage and they're not performing and they're not getting that natural high.
Yeah.
So that is why like drugs and stuff is rife in my industry. It is, unfortunately, which is sad, but it is.
Yeah.
Like I've experienced it happen on jobs. I've seen it happen on jobs. It is sad, but
I think it's not. I don't think it's just dance either. Like I've been. No,
it's kind of
a gymnast on YouTube, Niall Wilson. I don't know if you've seen him.
Yes, I have. Yeah,
Olympic gymnast, and he's shared quite a lot recently about. He had like gambling addiction, drinking, and he basically just said, "You work so hard for this moment where you're competing at the world's highest stage." And he said, "There's no feeling like it. It's the ultimate feeling." But then he got injured, so then the feeling of getting back there. He didn't believe he could get back there again. And he just said, like, I was having to just fill my time with something else, because like there's nothing else that can replace. I needed a high. And I'm not surprised like anything like that, dance, music, business, art, anything where you express yourself and you're doing something that you love that much, you get so much of a rush. I'm not surprised. It's like, it doesn't surprise me basically that people turn to other things, not just drugs, like other things to kind of make up for that. I think it's quite normal. Yeah. And I was going to ask you on that when you were on stage, were you like thinking about, oh my God, there's so many people, or did you get into a flow where you just like,
you know what, you have to get into a flow. You have to get into a flow, otherwise you're going to like put yourself on stage. You have to kind of, there comes to the point where it's like, right, I'm here now. It was so surreal, George. Honestly, I can't even like begin to explain it. It's this massive stage on the NEC. Like that arena was massive, and like the stage was huge, and they had a massive catwalk, and like it had a catwalk and then a big like cylinder at the bottom of the catwalk, and then a massive stage at like the kind of base of the stage. And there was just like a spotlight on this week, and she whispered in my ear. She was like, go freestyle, like in my ear. I was like, right, this is my time. And I like you can't think. I just went, right, I'm doing it. I'm gonna go. Let's go. And I was like, honestly, I was doing everything. Yeah, it's crazy. And then I finished. It was just like I finished, and I went down the stage. There was like the stage was like it was like a remote control. Remote control, is that the right word? But there was like something that like they pressed the button and like the stage like, elevated down. Like it's crazy. And I literally just went in the stage, and then like went back to my parents. And I was like, all right, that it's just it all happened so quick, but crazy.
But did you manage to get into that?
Like,
go on, sorry.
The video got like 50,000 views on YouTube and stuff like that, and like it was crazy. It was like wow. Yeah.
And so did you manage to get into that flow?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I think that, I mean, I don't know if that was because I've been doing it all my life, and I just know, that flow kind of is just second nature to me.
Mm.
And I think part of me was like, right, I cannot just get nervous and stand here in front of 30,000 people. Like, I have to show them why I'm on this stage. Like, I have to prove myself here, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was like I have to step up to it a bit. Yeah, definitely.
I love that.
But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
because
scary.
that's amazing that you've got that kind of level of awareness, I think, and you're younger as well, because I've had moments, even just as stupid as like public speaking or a pitch or a conversation, where I've been dreaming about it my whole life, or like wanting it my whole life, and then I'm like, either moments before it happened thinking, right, this is happening now, and rather than just enjoying it because it's all I've ever wanted, there's been moments where I've been thinking about it so much that I've almost not enjoyed the moment, or tripped myself up, or overthought it, rather than just being in the moment and thinking, this is it, I can't believe I'm here, like enjoying it for what it is. So I think the fact you're able to, it sounds like as well, it was so fast you almost didn't have time to even get nervous.
Yeah. And you know what it is for me? It's I suffer, especially in lockdown, I suffer quite bad with anxiety, and that's been especially in my kind of like teenage years up until now. It's been a kind of a big factor for me in my life, and also my mum's life as well. She suffers with it, and it's been kind of like, especially in lockdown, which has been quite long now. It's been almost a year we've been in lockdown. Like, it's crazy. Like, and the first lockdown was so hard for my anxiety. Like, and dancing was honestly the only thing, apart from dancing and long walks, maybe. That was the only thing I had to like do. Like, I haven't got a car, I can't drive anywhere, I can't escape. Like, dancing was my only freedom, I guess, to kind of like numb that anxiety for a bit and just kind of like release and be myself again. Because anxiety changes you as a person. I mean, it's like awful. It makes you a different person completely. So yeah, dancing's always been the root of me, I guess. I can always go back to it. I'm like, right, this is who I am. Like, to find myself again. If I ever get lost, or I have a shit week, or I feel down, or I feel anxious, or like, I'm like, right, dancing. I'm like, right, let's create something. Let's work on this choreography. Let's go take so and so's class. Let's do this. Let's work on that. Let's have a freestyle. Let's, it just takes me back to me, so I can find myself again. Definitely, yeah.
Amazing.
And obviously, I know you guys, you do Sanctus, so I know that like that you guys are obviously quite aware of mental health, especially in men as well, which is amazing to see two guys running the mental health thing. I like that's very like, I love that, the fact that it's two men doing that, because it's not spoken about enough. And I'll say it till I'm blue in the face, but like, it's okay for men to feel like this way. Like, we're not like, we'd have to be like, oh yeah, I'm a bloke, I can't show feelings. I hate that, and it's such an old-fashioned mentality, and I really cannot wait for it to die out.
100%.
Yeah, I'm sure you feel the same. Yeah.
I just love that you've named it as anxiety. I think I was thinking about it too much, or worrying about those moments. It was anxiety, and it still is today. And just being aware.
I think it's exactly. Yeah. Being aware. It's okay to acknowledge it, and then.
But I didn't know that it was that. So I had a lot of anxiety when I was probably similar age to you, going through that stuff, and I just didn't know it was anxiety. I just kind of wouldn't even draw my awareness to it. I'd almost like try to avoid it, or just try and forget about it and move on. And I think what I've learned is any emotion is okay. It's all valid. It's all welcome. It's all true. So rather than pretending I'm not anxious, allow myself to accept, I'm feeling anxious. I wonder why. Going into that, I think where I've really struggled over the years is by just the shame around certain emotion. And because of the shame around that emotion, I push it down, suppress it, and pretend like it's not there. And then that then leads to feeling depressed, because literally you're pushing down emotions and trying to hold them down rather than allowing them to just be. If I'm sad, be sad. If I'm anxious, be anxious.
Exactly, yeah.
If I'm angry, be angry. They're all mate, my favorite, I don't know if you've seen the film Inside Out, Disney film. My God, mate, watch it.
Yes, I have. Yes, I watched it. Yeah, really good. So good.
It's so good.
I actually watched that the other week.
It's such a deep film, but it's just like, it's all about that, basically.
Amazing, yeah.
There's
also another one. There's another one called Soul.
Soul, yeah. People have been losing their heads over that.
That's
that
really
flow,
good.
that moment of flow in that film is what you're describing, like being in you, just being
exactly. Yes, that's it. That is my kind of thing. It's like, that is, exactly. That's a really good example. Yeah, Soul. Yeah. So how did you like?
Go on.
Go on, sorry.
I was going to ask, so was that your highest, talking about highs, was that your highest moment of the last few years?
No, I'd say there's a few of the moments. I went to LA for about a month or so, back in not last summer but summer before that, with a good friend of mine. We decided to just go to LA. We rented it. We did an Airbnb at this place. We just did it for like a month or so. It was like 5 weeks, I think. And we just went out there and it's like, right, we're gonna just train. We're gonna just absolutely train. And the training over there is incredible. Like, I recommend it to any dancer ever. Go to LA and train if you can. Like, as soon as the borders open again and we can go, like, that's probably the first place I'm going to go, just to get that refresh. Just like, right, I need this good training, this hot weather, this nice, like, it's just so much better than over here, I think, in terms of like just everything. Yeah. So I'm going to go out. So I was out there and I was dancing in the class, and I'm not sure if you know. Do you know World of Dance, the program?
I've heard of it, but I don't know it. Yeah.
It's an American TV show, and this guy that I think he won it. I don't know if he won it or was a runner-up. This guy Michael Dremeski. I don't know if you've heard of him.
No.
He's like a solo dancer. He's a fucking incredible dancer. He's amazing. And we was kind of in a class, and the way the classes work, especially over there, it's quite heavy. And like they film a lot of stuff. They love to film. They're quite heavy on footage. They really enjoy it, which is bad and good, which is a whole different topic. But yeah, it's like, but they really enjoy filming. And they do like groups at the end. And I was kind of like, out of a class of about 50 people, 40, 50 people. I was selected with me and one other person, and I had no idea who this guy was. And we danced and we did it together. And it was on film and stuff. It's on my Instagram quite far down. If you scroll, be able to see it. Yeah, and then we finished dancing. It was like just me and him. Everyone was watching. Everyone was going crazy. Like, it was an amazing moment. It was like I'd been picked out like one of two people in a class in LA. Like, this is my first ever class. I think it was like my second class out there. It was literally like we like landed like the day before. Literally went to class and I was like, wow, it's crazy. Like, so lucky to have that. And then we finished, and then my friend was like watching, because he didn't take that class. He took another class, but he was like, his class had finished and he was watching mine through the window. And I come out and he was like, you do realise who that was, don't you? I was like, no. And he was like, that's Michael Dremeski. And I was like, what? I didn't, no idea. That's crazy.
Wow.
It's like this world of dance star, like this, he's got like millions of followers. He's crazy successful. Was just like dancing next to me. I was like, it's crazy when you like, but it kind of made me realise it was like, we put these stars on such a pedestal, but they are just people. Like, he was just coming to take class. Like, they're not superhuman. They're just people who have worked their asses off to get to where they want to get to. And that's just kind of route I'm trying to follow, I guess, as well. So for me, it was a big inspiration. It was like, wow, I got to dance next to this guy, and he's been so successful in the career. And he's also boy dancing, which we all get shit for as a kid. Like, I got bullied so much at school for being a dancer as a boy. Really? I'm sure he did as well.
Really?
It's like, it's so nice to see like male dancers who are successful. Like, I can't help but look up to that, because it's like, there's so much respect that I give them for putting through like the stereotypes and stuff. I mean, it's getting a lot better now, but when I was a kid, like, it's like as you say, when you were in that dance crew, you were like probably the only few boys, right?
Yeah. We didn't tell anyone we were doing it because we
exactly, because you were a bit embarrassed.
Because I was a footballer growing up, so if I'd have told people I'm doing a bit of dance, that yes, I didn't tell anyone. Yeah,
exactly, and that's the whole stigma around it, which is horrible, which is like I hate, which is slowly getting better, because I was just saying, like, I would scream and cry outside of class, like that my mum had took me to, because I didn't want to go in because I was the only boy. I was like, no, I don't want to go in. I'm going to get like picked on, like, and that's so horrible that we had to go through that, and then we had to feel embarrassed to try something new. Like, why should we feel embarrassed? Why do people, like, I just hate stereotypes and things, and like, why do we feel that way? We have to hide what we enjoy doing.
100%. And it's like, I think it's fear. I think when I was younger, I would probably, I think doing things like that opened my mind, because I was like, wow, I'm expressing myself in a different way. But I think it for me when I was a bit younger than that, and my mates, it's a fear of like expression. So it kind of, maybe it's a more feminine, football, very masculine way of expressing yourself. Whereas doing dance felt good for me because I was expressing all of like sort of more of myself. But I think that people aren't ready almost to, it's a very expressive, you're showing so much of who you are in
Yeah.
form of dance. It is such a vulnerable place, and I don't think a lot of people are ready for that. So, or I wasn't ready for that at that age. So it's kind of like, I don't even want to go there. It's too exposing. It's too vulnerable. Like I remember drama and dance at school. You'd quickly,
everyone hates it, right? Everyone like,
you just think, fuck it, I'm not gonna, I don't feel safe enough.
Even I did though. Even I did
Yeah.
at a certain point, because I was like,
But looking back,
I'm with the boys here in the lesson. I don't. There's no way I was going to get up and like
I
do
wish.
some pirouettes.
I'm like, guys, that should have been our favorite class, like a class where you can express yourself. But I just think I was too insecure.
You know what? There was actually a time. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
There was actually a time at school where it was like the first time where I'd like, because I was quite badly bullied in primary school when I had to move primary schools and stuff, and it was like that was quite a bad time in my life because I was into dance from such a young age, and everyone else was just into football and stuff, and like. These kids that I was with didn't understand the fact that I enjoyed this, and it gave me such a horrible hard time. It was awful, but it taught me so much, and I'm grateful that it happened. And I went to secondary school, and it was a lot better. I had friends, but they didn't really know I danced. I kind of just like from primary school, I kind of been scarred, I guess, and I kind of learned to just like, right, keep this to yourself, like just dance in your own time, dance on the weekends, go to class, like keep it to yourself. And there was a time at school where a teacher found out that I danced, and she saw a video or something. She was like, "Wow, like we need to get you dancing for a show at school." I was like, "No, I can't do that." Like, I was like, "There's no way I'm dancing in front of all my friends and stuff." Like, but the show eventually happened. Long story short, it happened, and I did it, and it was like, it was so like, it was weirdly like liberating though to dance. It was like, right, you know what, fuck you, I'm gonna just dance anyway. I'm gonna just show you this is what I do. I don't care if you like it or not. Like I just did it on stage. I was on stage. I had to perform. I couldn't show that I was embarrassed. And I was just like, right, I'm not embarrassed. I'm going to just do it. I'm going to give it a go. I don't care what anyone thinks of me. I don't care if people call me gay or whatever. I don't care, And like, yeah, it was just kind of from them, and from that moment on, it was kind of like that was a turning point. It was like, right, I can now talk to my friends about my dancing.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, for me, definitely. But I mean, some people did not have that experience. Like some people had a lot worse experience for me.
Yeah.
For dancing at school, friends that I know that I've grew up with and known for a long time have had that experience as well.
Amazing for owning it. And I was going to ask you actually if that moment in LA or Madonna was your highest point. What has been your lowest point? Was it those moments at school, even this year? The last 12 months. Like, is there a low moment that really stands out the last few years?
In terms of dancing, I've not really had a massive low point. Like, luckily, I've not like been majorly rejected from something. Like, I was quite lucky because, and I think I owe this to my parents, especially because they drove me to a lot of places when I was a kid. So I was lucky to make a lot of connections and stuff with people, like choreographers and stuff, from their classes and stuff. Because my parents were so devoted to taking me everywhere, which I'm so grateful for. Because I would not have had the training that I have today if it wasn't for them. So I kind of made connections with a lot of people, and then I kind of stuck with them as they kind of watched me grow up. They kind of trained me, watched me grow up, and built this really nice connection with a lot of people who are quite high up now. And for example, and I got like quite a lot of offers from different colleges, like quite performing arts colleges. Like I've got someone, I don't know if you've heard of it. Have you heard of Can You Dance? Have you heard of that?
No, I don't.
It's like a really big dance convention that like tours around the UK. Obviously, it can't do it now, but they tour a lot. They go everywhere. They get thousands and thousands of kids go and stuff and like that. And Tom Shilcott, which is the co-owner of it, I've been lucky to build, and I spoke to him yesterday actually on the phone. I rang him, and I still speak to him loads, and we've got a really nice connection. And he kind of helped me get into like, he spoke to the principal of this one college and stuff, and they got me offers, and then another person that I knew spoke to so and so, and then they gave me an offer. I was quite lucky to have like things, so I never really felt that kind of like rejection or like not getting into a college or not like achieving. But surprisingly, the college I chose to go to was the only one that no one had got me a place at. Do you know what I mean? It was the only one that was like, right, I need to work at this myself, which kind of made me want to do it more, because it was like, no one's handed me this. It was like, I want to go out and get this myself. Definitely. But yeah, I think low points in life was probably, yeah. I mean, we've all had them. Like, I've had time. I've had a few weeks, especially like in this lockdown and stuff, where I've just been like, I've been going to sleep at like 3 o'clock, waking up at like 2, not really eating right, not showering. Like, you know, it sounds gross, like not brushing my teeth, just not really caring. And it's kind of come to a point where I was like, and I got really ill actually last lockdown. I was in a hospital for a bit as well. I had Quincy, which I don't know, it's like a really bad tonsillitis basically. It's like your tonsils just touch, like it's really gross. I won't go into it. So I had that as well. Like, it was just quite a low point. I wasn't dancing. I was like losing weight. And then it was like I kind of got better. But as you say, it's like the low points. Like you can't have a rainbow without having rain. Do you know what I mean? Like that low point kind of brought me. It was like, right, I'm going to pick myself up from here. I was like, I can't go any more down. I was like, look, the only way is up now. You know, definitely had low points in my life.
Yeah, but it sounds like more recently it's kind of actually not being able to dance in the way that you have been able to in the last few years, whether it's with an audience or in a class, or like so much of dance is, I can just feeling it through you, is through being in connection with others. Like being just your dance partner, if there's one person or if you're in a group, it's your connection with the group, or if there's an audience, it's connection with the audience. That's just been stripped away. And I think for some creators or artists, they can still kind of live without that, but I can imagine for a dancer it's very difficult.
Yeah, it is. I mean, for me, like, even so later on, I'm doing this course. It's like a 3-hour course. It's like 3 classes, and I've got to do it in my conservatory, which is like, I haven't got a lot of space. And I'm 6 foot, so I use quite a lot of space when I dance, and it's like, it's very frustrating because I can't do it. I physically can't travel through the wall and do a move. I can't. I'm quite restricted, but it's also teaching me a lot. It's teaching me how to use my space more, and it's teaching me how to control where I go and be aware of my surroundings more, like not hit things and stuff, which is like, there's blessings in everything. So I'm just trying to find, like, I guess. Hello?
Hey mate, my signal, is that yours? Might be my signal. Oh, you're there. Okay.
What happened? Sorry.
Are you there? No. You just cut. You had just cut as you were saying. There's blessings in there as well, although you're not able to. There's
blessings in everything, isn't there? Yeah. For me, so it's just kind of. I think this lockdown, I've been a lot better because I've just kind of learned from the last one. I've been like, right, I can't sit around and feel sorry for myself. Yes, I'm allowed to feel sad, and I'm allowed to have days, which I still have. But there's no point like don't let those sad days turn into sad weeks. You know, you got to just pick yourself up. You got to just get on with it, really, because it's not going to change the government guidelines this moment, is it? So
I felt as well. I know that, mate. It sounds like we had such a similar experience of lockdown. Like the first lockdown, I was everything you described. I was the same, and I almost felt like I wanted to just feel the bottom of a point where I was like, okay, no more now, George. I was almost like, fuck it, I'm going to keep going with this. I'm going to do less, be lazier. I was just like, who cares?
Yeah.
Point. And then, but I think it was important for me to feel the bottom of that, whatever it was, that then made me think, I'm enough of that now. Enough of that now. Like, I need to take responsibility or do something or take ownership. And then it started to change. But I think if I'd have resisted going there and it had been a sort of more shallow low, I think I'd still probably be struggling. So really, I've been reading this book called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. It's so good. And one of the things he says, the reason why people get ill a lot is the resistance that you have to slowing down and being ill. So you resist it, but your body is like, no, I need to stop. So what your body then does is almost it fights that resistance by making you more ill. So it's like, right, if you're not going to slow down, I'm going to make you even more ill. So you have to slow down, which is where you get it sounds like something like what you had. I can imagine that resistance, like, right, I'm going to really properly make you stop here with something that really debilitates you, and then you've got to come back up. So I don't know, I used to never allow myself to slow down when I was younger. Honestly, it was mainly driven by anxiety, insecurity, just kind of, I was just like, I've got to be busy, I've got to be doing something. But I think I've got a much more balanced, and lockdowns taught me more about myself, but more balanced way of living, which is good, I think. And appreciating that it's normal to feel happy, but also normal to feel shit, or no, like, I think I was brought up, or almost grew up, thinking joy or happiness was the only emotion that was allowed, and that kind of isn't real.
And there's still people today, like there's still people that I know that, like, and a lot of people still struggle with just accepting the fact that they're sad. Sometimes, like, they just don't, like, they can't talk about it, which obviously, like, I understand to a certain extent that it's not easy for everyone to open up, and I get that. Like, some of my friends, like, I had a friend who I've known since school, and he's always one person that's, like, always been nice to me and always accepted me as a male dancer as a kid, you know. And it's been nice, and I always keep in touch with him. He's my best friend. Like, I've known him for over 10 years now, and he was feeling down, like, but he hadn't told me, he just hadn't messaged me for a while. I was like, right, this isn't normal. So I rang him, and he was like, yeah, I've been feeling shit, I haven't been sleeping, I've been doing this. And I was like, yeah, I know. So I was like, right, let's go on a walk, let's have a chat, because I could just kind of tell, because I was like, but he didn't want to talk about it. Like, there's no way that he would come to me and be like, right, I feel shit, could like, you know, can we go out for a walk? Like, some people literally just do that, and it's sad. I think some people just go in themselves when they feel sad, they don't want to talk about it. It's like, let's just suppress that emotion.
Yeah.
And it's like he was going to alcohol and stuff as well, and it's just like, you don't want to be doing that. Like, you want to be, like, you know. And I'm not perfect. Like, the last lockdown, like, you know, I'd drink my sorrows away. I'd have shit days. I'd, like, you know, smoke. I'd do it, like, it's all, like, something. We're not perfect, but, like, we've got to learn to pick each other up and pick ourselves up. Like, pick your friends up and pick yourself up as well.
I love that.
Like, because people can't help you unless you help yourself first a little bit, you know. You've got to be willing to accept help before anyone can help you, I guess.
That. Yeah, I love that. I love it. And I think the other thing that I felt is the best creators and artists in the world, they connect to who they are, and they connect to all of themselves. So they don't only connect to the happy parts or the joy, they connect to and that is where the beauty, that's where the creativity, that's where the expression comes from. So, like, the best songs in the world ever, a lot of them are sad songs.
Yeah, about breakups and
because the writer is connected to those places that are hard to connect to, and it resonates so deeply. I bet the same with you. I bet there's certain moments, certain dances where you've connected to something that's fucking, like, giving you fire, whether it's anger or
you know pain. What, I actually relate to that more, because most of them, like, it's, as you say, with, like, most of the popular songs are sad songs and stuff. I'd say the same. Like, most of the things I connect with sometimes do have a darker meaning. Like I won't really connect to much as, like, a really, really happy song, but I still could. But, like, I'd say I have a more natural connection to, like, something deeper, something that isn't just, like, happy, you know. And I always believe in, like, there's a thing which I recently discovered an actual name for it. Is toxic positivity. Is that whole thing of, like, you know, like, make yourself happy all the time, be happy, don't do this, like, you know, look at all the things you've got, like you have no reason to be sad, or, like, things like when people say stuff like that to you, it's like, it's so toxic, but it's like they label it as positivity. It's awful. It's
I could honestly really relate to that. I think I probably still part of me does. I used to kind of have this positive.
Yeah.
Time it was authentic.
So did I. Yeah.
A lot of the time it's authentic and it was genuine. It was pouring out of me as just this optimism, positivity. Some of the time it was inauthentic, and it was me trying to say to myself, "Be positive, George. Be positive." And I was almost externalizing that to others. Whereas actually the authentic feeling would have been, "I'm struggling," or "I'm not feeling myself," or "I've got no motivation at the minute." And that's more authentic and genuine, but it was coming out as, "Come on, keep going." And people, it just doesn't resonate, because people know me so well. They almost know intuitively when it's authentic or when it's which is amazing. And that's when it's kind of whether it's toxic or whatever the word is, that's when it's not genuine. But I wasn't aware I was doing that, but I think everyone,
Oh yeah, of
like a
course. Yeah,
fine
I've
line,
been there
isn't
as
it?
well. Yeah, I've been there as well, George. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aware of time, I think you touched on it just to close off. You mentioned was it the label or the agency that you just signed to that you've been dreaming of signing? Just tell me more about that. What does that look like? What does that mean for you, like next and going forward? I know it's COVID and lockdown, but
Yeah. So the agency I've signed with a few. I've been lucky to sign with a few agencies. I signed with Mass Movement back in the summer, and they're a really big agency. I've always looked up to them, and I'm really grateful to Andy for kind of sorting me out with that and connecting me with Ian, who works for the agency, and kind of had a meeting and signed with them, which was amazing. And they've sent me for a few auditions and stuff. But it's just like, which is crazy, like just to have the opportunity to work in times like this as well. Definitely, I'm so grateful for that. And the one I signed with recently a few weeks ago is, I literally got that off my, like, no one helped me with that. Like, I literally just had to, I emailed several times back in, back in Christmas, and literally I kind of forgot about it. I'd emailed just, just like, I kind of just like, I was just shooting my shot. I thought, why not go for it? I've got nothing to lose. I'll send them an email. And I didn't hear anything back for ages, and I just forgot about it. And it was exactly 28 days later that I got a reply. And it was like, and they were like, "Oh, this is the best email that we've been sent by a client." Because I kind of like, I'd like sorted this email out where I'd like hyperlinked it and stuff, and I was like, "Click here from this video, click here," and it was like I'd made it quite fancy, and I thought, right, I'm going to send them this because this is like this is different, And then she replied about a month later. She was like, "Yeah, we definitely want to meet with you. We've seen your videos. We've spoken to a few people who know you. We definitely want to have a meeting and sort this out and get to know you." I was like, "Yeah, great, cool. This is amazing." So we had a call with them a few days later, literally, and spoke to them. They just said they liked the fact that I'm not like a typical college graduate. Like, I have my own artistry, I guess, like, and that goes back to like being me and finding me again. And they were like, we like the fact that like you're not like a typical, because college can drain it out of you a bit. College can like make you a bit of a robot sometimes. Like it can kind of take your personality away a bit, like go to performing arts college, because they just churn out like these technical robots that are just like sometimes that's sometimes not all the time. Like, so for me, I guess it's important that I maintained who I was, which has obviously helped me secure this spot on the agency, which is amazing, because like I'd always been so strong on like on staying me, and I always have been. So yeah, so it turns out that actually kind of helped me get a spot on the agency, which is amazing. And then we just like they just signed me on, asked for my details and stuff, and then hopefully in the future, it's just something, because they work with like every kind of artist that comes to the UK or anywhere, even like they work in Italy, they work they work everywhere, and it's just like, yeah, I can't wait for what's to come. I can't say what's to come. I don't know, but I don't know when COVID's going to disappear, whether it's this summer, next summer, who knows.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a waiting game now. But while I'm here, while I'm at home, I'm just going to make the most of training. I'm just going to make sure I'm ready for when it all does kick off.
Amazing, mate. Honestly, it's been so good to meet you.
It really has.
You know what? I knew it was something special, and I could feel it in you, but I didn't realize like the quality of this conversation for me and the level of awareness you've got is incredible. Honestly, mate, like the drive,
Thank
the motivation,
you, George. Appreciate
passion, the purpose, the honesty, vulnerability on like the ups and downs, mate. I didn't have a shred of that like anywhere near your age. It's actually incredible. So like, yeah, I'm really excited for you. I know it's probably a tough kind of few months ahead, but yeah, I'm excited for what comes next for you. And like, I don't know, I just think you've done incredibly well already.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And I'd love to stay in touch. I'd love to do this again in a couple of months' time and check in with how you're doing. And it sounds like to me as well, I asked you earlier, like what your goal, your drive, it just sounds like all you want to do is do this for a living. All it sounds like is you know that this is who you are, you know this is what you love, and you just want to find a way to just be able to keep doing it. That's all it's just like you want to keep doing it. So the best way to keep doing it is to find a way to kind of earn a living through it. And that sounds like that's it, which I absolutely love. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you so much for having me on, George. It means a lot. I mean, it's so nice to speak to you, and like keep doing that. Keep supporting strangers, because it means a lot. Yeah.
Boom, and that's it for this one. Wow, what a guy. What a guy. I honestly, yeah, just a special guy, special conversation. So like I was just saying there, so much charisma, energy, passion, purpose, love, vulnerability, honesty, everything. I've never met anyone like him, honestly. And I just feel really lucky to have met and had the chance to have this chat. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was, I feel like we covered so much. I hope it was valuable. And yeah, I mean, this is just the start, I think, for us hearing about Jamie, but also for me getting him on here. I want to bring him straight back on, to be honest. So Jamie, if you're watching, I'll be making sure you join us again very soon. So if you liked it, you can listen to or listen to the podcast on Spotify and iTunes, or watch more episodes here on YouTube. And yeah, that's it for this one, and see you soon. Boom.